So how can you use previous projects that you've worked on in the past to come up with new ideas? This can be whether you're working with a client and you're building something for them, or you're building an app or software and you're stuck on an idea or you're trying to think of ideas, but you can't think of anything. I'm going to explain how I use previous projects to come up with new ideas. So let's look at this from two ways. The first way to look at it is if you're doing some type of client project. So let's say you're building a custom website for a client and you're building a specific section of the web. Let's say you're redesigning the homepage or rebuilding their homepage for them, but you can't really think of any ideas for the design. You're stuck, or maybe the colors. You're trying to think of colors, but nothing's really looking good. And you can't think of any ideas. One thing that you can do is you can look back at your old projects and see what's worked in the past, see what your clients liked, and then just use those same ideas again. If you use specific colors in the past on the previous project that you like that color scheme, you can come back and use that again. If you had even you had a specific design or you had a specific animation on an old project, you can bring that back. You can look at your old projects and take the good parts of them and then continue to mold that into your new project. So that way, when you're creating this idea, you're creating this design for this client and you're stuck, you can't think of something, you just go back, reference what you've done in the past, and then you can apply that to this new project. This can also apply if you're building an app or some type of software. If you're trying to think of maybe a specific feature, how to build it, or you want to build this feature, but you're not sure of how to actually break it down, you can look at back some of your old work. Maybe you had an old app where you had a similar feature, but it was done a different way. You play around with that and then you bring that back in. Again, going back to the color schemes, I do this a lot, especially with like landing pages. If I can't think of a specific color I want to use, like a color scheme or a color palette, I just go back to old projects, see what kind of color did I use blue with green or what kind of colors I used in the past, and just bring that back. So that way, this kind of reduces the chance that you get stuck because you can just look at your old work, see what's worked, and then you can bring it back, whether you're doing client work or whether you're building an app or a software. So I hope this video was able to help you see how you can use your previous work to come up with new ideas for your projects. If you're looking for a tool to help you organize your projects, organize and brainstorm your thoughts, you can check out our tool here at swizel.app to learn more about our brainstorming tool and how you can use it to keep track of what you're working on.